Welcome back to Farmbiz with Markay. So you remember our yam for some weeks now that since we planted stake and then use rope to interconnect all of them. I have not shared an update since that time. Now you can see how they are really branching, spreading even along the rope that we used to interconnect the stake. You can see how they are all spreading. I observed some things because it's actually about time that we start applying manure if we have to. You remember we also added manure to the sand we put in the sack before planting our yam. Now, if we want to apply manure, I think it's about the right time because when you observe some of the sack, you discover that some of them are already bringing out roots. They are already shooting out root from the, you can see this one right now. You observe that some of them are already shooting out root from the sack. What I did before now, when I observed that some of them are already bringing out root from the sack, I decided to add poultry manure because the manure is not that much in this sawdust that I added to the beside the sack. So I added it to the sack, not inside the sack, just use it to pad the sack. That's the space I created between the sack, as you can see now, so that when the root gets there, it can feed from that manure in case the one inside the sack is not enough. So that's the essence of me applying this manure. This has been here for about a week plus. When the root gets here, it's going to feed from the manure inside that sawdust. I'm going to add it to all of them, so that when the root leaves the sack to get to the ground, before it gets to the ground, it will feed from the manure. And this yam, they are really doing well. You can see all of them, they are spreading. Almost all of them germinated, though about 3 of them did not germinate. I didn't bother to replace those ones that didn't germinate, so I just left those sacks open. You can see the vine, they are really spreading. It's been about some months since March that we planted. That's about 2 months ago since we planted this yam. You can see they are branching seriously. They are doing well. Well, the essence of that rope that I used to interconnect the stake that I told you, you can see how they are spreading along the stake. When you look at along the rope rather, when you look at the whole thing right now, you may not see that rope anymore, because the vine has already taken over most of the rope. What I also do, I've already weed, because the kind of weeding we do here, we can't use cutlass to weed this. We can't use, but what we do is hand weeding. So we just pull off the grass on top of the sack. That's how we weed them. Then the ones in between the sack, our walkway, I will say, we also use hand to weed them. Very easy, because they are not that strong. You can see the root I talked about. You can see this one now is coming out from the sack. So I'll need to come and add poultry manure to this, so that when they get to that poultry manure, they can feed from that manure. So like I said, I think it's about time to apply that manure. And then you can see this one, the roots, they are already shooting out from the sack. They are shooting out seriously. You know, as they spread, their roots will also go down. So I don't want anything that will hinder their production. So I'm going to add manure to it so that they will yield very well, which is what we want. Now, this other one too, you can see the root is really coming out. So I need to apply manure to these ones right now, so that they can feed from the manure. Okay, now you may think that, okay, yam does not really have that long root as such. No, that's not true, because they grow longer root. You can see from where I planted the yam, going down to search for nutrients. Though there are some nutrients in the sack, so I will still add manure to it, so that they can feed from the one in the ground as well as in the one in the sack. This is the manure we'll be applying around the sack, so that the root can feed from the manure here. Now, normally when you are applying poultry manure, you need to allow it to cool. In other words, you don't just bring it out and then apply to your plant. Otherwise, it may burn the plant. What we do, by placing it beside the sack this way, which I showed you, before the root gets there, maybe after some days or weeks, the manure must have cooled before the root gets to the manure. So that is why it's not good to apply raw manure to your plant, because when the plant gets to it immediately, without staying there for some time, it may burn the plant. This is the manure. There is not much poultry manure in this, so I'm going to apply it beside the sack, because before the root gets there, it's still going to take about some days. So that will allow the manure to cool before the plant starts feeding from it. You can see how the branches are. They are spreading without me doing much, except I had to just like use hand to remove the grass that under the yam that I planted. That is something like this. I just use hand to remove them. I have not really weed around the plant per se. You can see how they are all branching. The small space I have left in my compound, I was able to maximize it. The advantage I have right now, you see, when the roots leave the sack and goes to the ground to look for more nutrients, they are able to access the ground. Meanwhile, this ground you are seeing right now, I already had some manure in them, like the poultry manure that I normally remove from my pen. I spread them here before coming to plant yam here. That's to tell us that the yam is going to do well by the grace of God. You can see the vine spreading. Now, another thing I also do, as the vine keeps spreading like this one, I don't just leave them. I try to connect them to this rope that I use to interconnect the stake. So I try to connect them, use my hand to wind it around the rope so that they will go where I want them to go. So this is also important. It will help the yam to do well. So once I see the vine spreading to where I don't want them to spread to, like this other one right now, like this particular one, I take it out and then connect it. Now, another thing I also discovered, that some of them, this plantain that I planted, is really disturbing some of them from really growing rapidly. So what I do in that case is to cut off the plantain leaves that might be blocking them. So I cut them off, and then they have more than enough space to spread. So that is it. I'll be giving you update as time proceed. Now I've applied the manure. You see, I just put it here. In about few days, this thing is going to cut. Though the sawdust, I put it in the pen for about 1 week or so before removing them. So it won't really do any harm to them. Because once rain falls on this now, sun hit it for some days, it will be okay for the plant to feed from. So that's how we do our planting. Now, another thing I also do, I try to use hand to remove the grasses on top of the yam. Now, this water leaf you are seeing now is edible. That's why I didn't remove them. This is the update I have for you today about the yam we planted in sack in small space. Thank you very much. If you find this video helpful, kindly subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification icon, like and comment in the comment section below, as this will go a long way in helping me to grow my channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you.